Hey, how's it going everyone? My name is True Underdog, and I am finally back from my vacation in the Philippines, which means it's time for a Sub-Zero guide, and I know, it's quite late. So to make it up for you, it's going to be a much more extensive guide than usual, and we're also doing it live. So let's go ahead and get right into it, starting off with his special moves. Okay, so first off we have Ice Burst. Now this attack is actually quite straightforward. It's safe on block, so if the opponent blocks this move, they actually can't punish you. So what does that mean? Well, if I do an attack string like say 1-1-1, it's actually -9. That means it's punishable. The opponent can actually hit me with a full combo. However, if I cancel the last hit into Ice Burst, suddenly I'm safe. It's no longer punishable. Same with back 1-1. It's a low attack, good mix-up, good for starting off combos, right? But it's also unsafe if blocked. Now with Ice Burst, suddenly it's -4. If the opponent wants to punish me, they now have to spend meter for an armored attack. So that's the main purpose for Ice Burst. Now the meter burn version is actually +3 on block. So not only is it safe, but I can actually keep going on the offensive if the opponent blocks it. So if I do, say, 1-1-1 with the overhead, then burn it, I can go for a low, and I'm still plus. See, I got a second mix-up there. The opponent had to block what I did next, because I'm at +3 frame advantage. So that's the benefit of burning your meter if you do Ice Burst. Another handy thing Ice Burst does is it actually shadows your Ice Clone, which is your character trait. Now this does good chip damage and good damage to end your combos as well. It's also just a solid option if the opponent's trying to advance in on you and you don't want to throw it because the startup frames are too long, or maybe you just don't want to get hit, you don't want to pick it up and get hit as you're lifting it, you can just go ahead and shatter it with Ice Burst. That's always a good option. Now outside of that, Ice Burst is not very good in any other sense. It's not good for ending your combos, doesn't do very good damage, but it is great for frame advantage, and it's a great way to keep yourself safe if you do an unsafe attack string. Next up we have Polar Puncture. This attack is unblockable. Very good to know. Now unlike Bane, you don't have very many tick options, right? You can do down 1, which is a jab. That's a tried and true tick throw. It's universal for every character in the game. However, another good tick throw is back 2-3. This also will combo into it on block. So say we blocked the attack string, but my throw still came out. That's the only two ways I found to actually tick throw into the command grab Polar Puncture. Now if there are any other ways to do it, please post down in the comments below. But from what I can tell, you can just do down 1 into Polar Puncture, or you can do back 2-3. Outside of that, I don't know how you would tick throw set up this move at all. Now it's also worth mentioning the command grabs always work on airborne opponents in Injustice 2. So if you want to end your combos, for example, this is one of your most damaging ways to do that. In fact, you should end your combos this way, because the slide now switches sides, so it's no longer your go-to way to end combos, especially if the opponent's in the corner, right? You do not want to let the opponent out of the corner, so from now on, Polar Puncture is how you end your combos. However, if you meter burn it, it's actually a great way to start off or extend your combos, which is really, really good stuff. Now keep in mind you can't freeze the opponent twice in the same combo, only once. So if I do a meter burn Ice Ball to freeze the opponent, I can't do enhanced Polar Puncture and freeze them twice in the same combo. It's not possible, the game will not let you do it. So just keep that in mind. Now with that being said, it becomes really handy with the tick throws from earlier, remember that? Let's go ahead and make Green Lantern block again like earlier. It's really important to show this off. So if I use back 2-3 to tick throw into my Polar Puncture, I now get a full combo right here. Boom. That was off a blocked attack string, and I got all this damage off of it, right? Ooh, 34. Oh, that's pretty good. 342? That ain't half bad. And the opponent blocked the first string. They even blocked the mix-up, right? So your opponent might think, oh, I know that mix-up. Oh, but you don't know about the unblockable, do you, big boy? That's right, I got more tricks up my sleeve than you realize. So that's the benefit of Polar Puncture. A great way to end your combos without meter. If you have meter, a great way to extend your combos and even start your combos off of tick throws. Really deadly weapon in your arsenal. Next up we have the tried and true Ice Ball. Decent speed projectile, a bit slow on startup but does damage, which is nice. I always hated how the Ice Ball didn't do damage in the past games because sure it held them in place, but if you traded from full screen you couldn't dash in for a combo, so you didn't get any sort of reward for hitting the opponent. Like they just stood there and got frozen for a half second. And they were mildly inconvenienced. They weren't actually damaged. They weren't stressing the full screen keep away game. They didn't really seem to care. Now it actually damages the opponent. Now the downside is, without the meter burn, you can't actually freeze them. You gotta spin the meter if you want to freeze them to extend the combo. Now, that's a bit upsetting for some people. I actually prefer it. I think it makes sense in a game like Injustice 2 where everyone needs meter to extend their combos. Not a very big deal for me, especially since the enhanced version is so fast that it seems to combo from pretty much anywhere. So it's still a great tool. Not to mention, and this is very important, it actually destroys other projectiles. So if Green Lantern threw a projectile at me right now, and I did the enhanced version, not only would mine pass through his, it would actually delete his. So his projectile would go away completely. It would just disappear from the screen, and we would not trade. Because normally what it used to be is that, like, I would get hit, he would get frozen, I would dash in after I was hit, and still have time for my combo. No longer a problem. I'll actually just destroy his projectile in general, just period, straight up. His projectile is nullified and gone, I can dash in for free. I don't have to throw the enhanced version and then block his projectile, right, and then dash in. It will eat his projectile straight up, worry-free. Very good stuff. It is worth mentioning the ice ball is unsafe, so don't do it up close, right? Always use it from a distance, maybe hide behind your clone, throw it once, and then throw your clone. If you want to play the keep away game, that's always an option, right? But just make sure you don't ever do it right in the opponent's face, they can punish you for a full combo. And that's true for the meter burn version as well. The meter burn version is also -8 on block, so still barely punishable by the opponent. So be careful when doing that. Next up we have the Frost Hammer. Now this move can only be done in the air, but it does hit overhead and then mid. Pretty good attack, especially if you cross the opponent up. Now that is tricky though, because you yourself have to be aware if you're going to cross up or not. But it's very tough for the opponent to actually see if you're crossing up, or if you're going to land right in front of their face. It's a pretty dirty trick, right? Pretty dirty setup if I do say so myself. However, it's an even trade because the move is unsafe on block. So if you do this move, and the opponent reads it correctly and blocks it, if it's a cross up or not, and they block it, they can hit you for a full combo. However, not if you meter burn it. Now on hit you just get more damage, but on block you're actually safe. They can no longer punish you. That's a really big deal. That means you can always do this move as long as you have a bar. Correction, it's not just safe, it's actually +5. So let's see how far the enemy actually scoots back when I do that. I'm not sure how far away they go. If they stay close enough, I can actually do a mix-up. No, okay, so he's pushed too far away from a mix-up, but I can do a 4-3 if I want to, and he has to block the overhead. So that's my one little tricky option I have there. In the corner, I may have access to more mix-ups. Let's see, just real quick. I'm kind of learning with you guys. Okay, so he's still not close enough for my back 1-1, so the mix-up isn't really real afterwards, but I am plus enough that I can maybe dash in for a command grab or just a regular throw. He does have to respect me because I am at +5 frame advantage. If he pushes the button, I will hit him, it will trade. So he kind of has to respect what I'm doing there. And last but not least, we have the slide. Oh boy, the tried and true slide. This move has good range, it's fast, and it hits low for a good mix-up. And in this game, and in only this game, it actually switches sides with the opponent. Now that can be a good thing if you're cornered and you want to escape. That can be a good option, right? But otherwise, you typically want to avoid doing this move. I mean, mid-screen, not a big deal, right? You're already in the middle of the screen. Who cares if they flip over? It does enough damage that it can be warranted in some situations. But if you got the opponent cornered, remember, always do polar puncture. The slide ain't worth it in the corner, kids. It just ain't worth it. Now, the meter burn version does a little bit more damage. Not worth it in my opinion unless it wins you the match. Not even the round. I wouldn't even spin the bar to win the round. I think it's only worth it if it wins the match. If it wins the entire set, then go ahead and burn that meter. Otherwise, not really worth it at all. Also, one last thing. Very good wake-up tool. Always has been and is still in this game. If the opponent knocks you down, slide is a great wake-up. However, if the opponent reads that and blocks it, very unsafe on block. They can hit you with a full combo. It's very, very unsafe on block. That's it for his special moves. So let's go ahead and move on to his attack strings now. Okay, there's a lot of stuff on screen, but do not be overwhelmed, okay? We're going to break them all down step by step, and some of these attack strings are much more useful than others. So let's get right into it. Now, Hailstone ends in an overhead, so it's got a built-in mix-up. Now, that being said, it's unsafe on block. It's -9, so you could try to use this attack to make it safe, or you can go for Ice Strike, which hits mid, so it's no mix-up, but it's always safe. It's -4, also very good hit advantage, right? I have time to dash in and go for another mix-up if I want to. It's very good at mid-screen and in the corner to go for a new mix-up. So if you want the mix-up overhead, Hailstone. If you want to be safe and want the frame advantage, do Ice Strike. Permafrost is also safe on block and ends in a low. So if the opponent's expecting that overhead, you can catch him with a low. Now the trade-off is you can't combo after it. But if you condition the opponent to block Permafrost and expect that low, then Hailstone will catch them, and you got your full combo now. So that's the mind games, right? That's the mind games you gotta do. Get the opponent to expect the low, condition them to block the low, and then go for the overhead and do a full combo. The overhead has a much higher potential for damage. Tundra starts off high, but has a sneaky mid in its second hit, and knocks the opponent away. Now, mid-screen, all you can do is slide. Not much else you can do there. However, in the corner, you can end it with Permafrost instead, and get some pretty good damage, right? Let's go ahead and scoot there, show you how that looks. I know you've already seen it, but pretty good damage, right? In fact, this combo in general, this attack string, Permafrost, Very damaging way to end corner combos. Very good attack string. Unsafe on block, but good damage. Now cold encounter is quite interesting. If you do the full thing, it's 3 lows and has really good frame advantage, right? It's a great time to set up your clone, especially in the corner, right? Get that clone pressure started. However, the first 2 hits are great for starting off combos because they're low. Now, the truth is though, I don't have any overheads to scare the opponent with right off the bat. Sure, I have Hailstone, but that's on the 3rd hit. They have all day to see it coming. So in order to make these low attacks actually threatening, you have to do a few 4-3s, a few ground bounces, right? Do this attack and get the opponent scared. Make them start blocking overhead, especially from up close, and then catch them with the low, spin some bar, and you got a high damaging combo on your hands. But you have to condition the overhead, otherwise they're going to block a low all day. There's no reason not to against Sub-Zero, unless you start doing that 4-3 for a good overhead mix-up. And next up we have Snowfall. Now outside of the corner, not very useful at all. You can actually slide after it, but the timing is really strict. But see there, I just did it. Now in the corner, it actually starts off combos, so that's pretty useful, right? Launch them, get your nice short combo. Oh geez, make sure you delay that second attack string a bit longer, otherwise the throw will not combo. Gotta delay Tundra a little bit after Snowfall, otherwise you won't get the combo you want. You're gonna get a whiff command grab, which means they can wake up and do full good damage on you. That would suck so bad in an actual match. Oh, don't let it happen. Next up we have Chill Out. Now the first 2 hits, very good for starting off combos, got a sneaky low in there. Also good for tick throws, right? We saw it earlier. Great for a tick throw setup. Now if you do all 3, knocks the opponent away, pretty good damage. Great if you want to start your keep away, right? Want to hide behind your clone, throw a projectile, then throw your clone as a projectile. However, most of the time you're going to use this attack string to end your combos, right? You're going to do the first 2 hits into the command grab. That's your most damaging way to end your combos in most situations. And next we have Ability to Freeze. The first 2 hits are great for starting off combos because the first hit has really good range, right? Absurdly good range actually, and it hits mid. So the opponent can't duck under this, they can't escape this. If you want to do the whole string, it's good for switching sides and does decent damage too. If your execution ain't that great, you can cheat and use the left bumper to end your combos and not go for the tricky command grab ender instead. Just go for your basic ender. Still good damage, but does switch sides, so just keep that in mind. However, the first 2 hits are the main benefit of this combo because they have great range and it's a great way to move in on the opponent and get that damage. And last but not least, we have Killing Blow. Outside of ending combos for decent damage, I don't see a very good reason to use this move. It is mid, so the opponent can't duck under it. And is it safe? Yes, it's -5, so the opponent can't punish it. So I guess the benefit of this attack string is if you want to throw it out, there's no risk. No risk at all. Mix it in with the low if you want. Do the enhance to keep it safe or get frame advantage, right? Do the shatter if you want to. That's a good way to use it, I suppose. But all in all, I don't use Killing Blow except to combo into my super, actually. That's the main reason I actually do it. Because if I try to do back 2-3, which does more damage, I actually can't do the super in time. But the opponent doesn't stay airborne long enough, so I will do Killing Blow sometimes for my super combos. It's easy for execution, and also it keeps the opponent a bit higher, so they don't fall down before my super comes out. Speaking of which, let's talk about his super. Super has good range and has armor, but it's not very fast. Does hit low though, so that's an added benefit. Also does decent damage when comboed into with certain combos. Most of the time though, not worth the meter at all, especially since Sub-Zero needs meter to extend his combos. So most of the time you're not going to do your super. That's no different from most characters in the game. Most characters you can't ever do their supers, you're always spending meter on the combos instead. And it's no different for Subby Wubby. However, it does have good range, and it hits low, and it has armor, so it's still a great counter tool against the opponent, especially if they're trying to keep you away at this mid-neutral range. They're trying to throw out some normals, maybe they're doing some keep away with certain projectiles. You catch them with the super, boom, get that damage in there, win the round. And before we end the video, we have to talk about his trait, right? You dogs would kill me if I didn't talk about his trait. Now, we talked about it a little bit already, but let's discuss it in full detail now. So if you hit circle, you get a nice clone. If you press circle again, you throw it. If you want to do down and circle, it throws it at a shallow angle, right? A bit more downward. So if the opponent's in the air, just do regular circle, it'll catch them jumping. It'll catch them at full screen if they're a bit further away. Regular circle is great for a distance. Down circle is great for up close. If they're trying to approach or crouch under it, and that's a better way to hit them, right? Down circle is for that reason. Also, you can shatter it, right? Down back 1 will shatter it, does good damage. Also, plus on block and does good chip damage as well. Now, it's not as OP as it was in MKX, where you can actually combo after it in the corner and get tons of crazy high damage. You actually can't do that here, but it's still a good way to end your corner combos. although it doesn't stay around for very long, so you really have to be quick about it. You also gotta do certain attack strings that actually combo, my bad. Oh, I'm sorry, it's hard, guys. It's tough. Oh, it goes away so fast. You know what I'm talking about? Now, the good news is, even though it goes away really fast, it also recovers really fast. So, I'm gonna just stand there. It's gone in about 2 seconds, right? But then if I just wait 2 seconds, it's back. So, it's not a big deal. I can use it right away again. So, it's a great tool in your arsenal. It's readily available all the time. It's great for pressuring the opponent with some mix-ups. Oh, I forgot to mention earlier, you actually slide, and they'll fall into it. That's a very good thing to mention. If I slide, it switches sides, boom, they fall on it. Can do my forward 3 and get my combo started, right? Very good stuff, very sneaky stuff. So don't forget about that. Pop the ice clone. If they're within range, throw the slide out. If it works, keep doing it. If it doesn't work, then stop doing it. Again, a block slide equals full combo for your opponent on you. You do not want that. However, it's still a great option to keep in your arsenal. If you're at this range, just slide and see what happens. If it works, keep doing it. If it doesn't work, do not keep doing it. Great tool though, great tool. And don't forget, you can actually meter burn this move and get 2 ice clones. That means you have 2 projectiles to throw now. Obviously the opponent can't get over it either, right? It's very tricky for them to navigate this shit. So even Batman, if he's caught jumping, can't glide over both of these, right? But once again, they only stay on screen for about 3 seconds, so they're not like a guaranteed wall. It's not like Captain Cold where you can keep them out all day with a solid block of ice. They can just wait a couple of seconds and then they're gone. Not a big deal. But what does make it a big deal is if you're trying to play keep away, and say you're in the corner, and you throw a bunch of stuff at the opponent, a lot of interactables, and you're like, oh no, I've ran out of stuff, just meter burn your clone, suddenly you have 2 more interactables to throw. So that's a pretty big deal. If you're trying to win with chip or just by cheesing out the opponent, that's something you can do. I'm not saying you should, it's not very honorable, but it's a great way to get that damage. Look at all that damage I just got. Oh my gosh, that's scary stuff. Just, oh god. One more time, yeah, I want to see how much damage it actually is. Oh my gosh, that's like a good 4th or 5th of their health, right? That ain't half bad for 1 bar if they both manage to hit. And if they're trying to jump, it might actually work. So pretty deadly stuff. Now, I don't think most of the time you're going to want to spin the bar, but in those few rare situations like I mentioned, it might be good for either keep away or catching Batman jumping, or most of the time it's just going to be to get some more interactables to throw, right? Because even on chip, these do pretty good damage. Most of the time, though, it's great as an anti-air. If the opponent jumps in, you pop it, they land on it, get a 4-3 combo. Or, if you prefer, it's also great in the corner, especially for pressure. End your combo with back 1-1 down 3, pop the clone, go for a slide, they'll fall into it. Or go for a forward 3. If they expect that slide, because they think, oh man, that clone's there, he's going to try and slide me into it. I know what he's trying to do, I'm in his head. Just do forward 3. Catch him off guard. Nuh-uh. You ain't in my head, Green Lantern. You thought I was going to do it. You saw the ice clone and thought, oh man, he's got to do a slide, otherwise that clone's useless. No, it's not. It's a diversion. It's a decoy. I was doing 4-3 the whole time. You're not in my head. Only I know what I'm going to do. I'm unpredictable. I'm Sub-Zero. Alrighty guys, that's it for this guide. I know it was a bit wacky, a bit off the cuff, very unscripted. I hope you enjoyed it though. I've been on vacation, I'm a little bit sick right now, I'm a bit nasally with my voice. I tried my best, I'm in a lot of pain, actually got a sore throat and a sinus infection, but man, vacation was a lot of fun. And I'm so glad to be back and give you guys some more guides, and I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave a like down below, and while you're down there, go ahead and post a comment too. Tell me what you think. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, because we have content on this channel every single week. It's never a dull moment on Underdog Gaming. So make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.